Well, we're back from the break and let's continue here with our last segment of the show and, of course, bringing you to the end of our first week of 2023 in broadcasting here at Block 42 Nile Avenue with Smart Means Business. I'm Jerome Bolsonko here and, of course, joined again by Barija Andrew on set this morning as we analyze how the first week of 2023 has been in regards to business. What are those key highlights that you might have missed if at all you're just watching us for the first time? Very Andrew, good to have you again.
All right. Yeah.
Briefly, the things that have been that have made the week now, as we are finally summing it up on SAP.
Well, of course, we're going to be looking at quite. We can't be talking about the money that was allocated to Kampala City Council Authority to renovate the roads, and of course, trying to also look through the aspect of how a trader can thrive in such an economic crisis, because some people now are scared to invest money into their businesses. Then we shall come down to the aspect of skilling being necessary for business, for you to actually make money in your business. And we cannot, of course, neglect the aspect of microfinances being pushing to be turned into banks, bigger financial institutions. And definitely that's just a brief of the highlight. And GOTV, the JDC series, something very, very interesting on that. Okay, so well, now maybe if I'm to we start with the discussion of microfinances turning into banks,
starting into banks and having regulations
exactly
the same as the banks are having the commercial banks.
The commercial banks, yeah, because you realize that not so many people have confidence in banks at the same time. But however, microfinances were specifically made for Umuntu Awansi. Let me put it in Lugha. Mainly, people whereby they can actually, you are in position to get loan according to your capability to actually pay it back, according to your earning. Because banks, to get a loan from a bank, it's quite a little bit, there are so many criteria, which is not the case with the microfinance. So because of this aspect, some of the microfinances in the previous year, the marketing, the market dynamics are a little bit affected. That was in 2022, the way the transactions, and there was a little bit of reduced, because looking at the fact that you're operating on a low scale and there is little, or can I say limited, can I say compliance of people coming in to get your services, that kind of affects your output in a way, and you would wish that if maybe I had something bigger, it would attract more. I know I may not get the same clients like I used to get, but at least I can get one client and is able to cover up, quite a big sum. So, that when the different leaders, the different CEOs, the different managing directors of microfinances presented that and saying that, and it's still in revision regarding that aspect. But the question is, what will happen after the microfinances are turned into banks? Financial inclusion is one of the key aspects which any person needs. And in Uganda, we are doing what we can, our best to ensure that it's every person accesses whatever they have to access in terms of, finances are concerned, financial inclusion, information, knowing how to giving financial and also access to finances. Now, we see an aspect where microfinances will be attached to a bank. For example, let me say X microfinance and then bank attached to it. And that, of course, will increase their stability. But then the question is, I was interacting with one of the MDs of the microfinance, and he told me, despite the microfinances shouldn't be excited about this, but they should know there is something, what needs to be done for them to be ready for such a move, because there are going to be requirements which are going to be needed.
No, I think they do have the requirements, right? But we've been having this discussion even before we went on air that microfinance, people do not trust them as much as commercial banks.
Commercial banks, yeah,
because this microfinance, the microfinance started just as much as you can at least attach it to something to do with even the SACCOs, for example. Now, people who are affiliated to SACCOs fear associating with the microfinance. But then you get to realize that it's not something to worry about, especially if they are getting the regulations on it.
The regulations on it.
If the central bank is willing to give them these regulations.
Okay, there is giving them there is being regulated, which is okay.
Yep.
I mean, but then are you in position? Because they may have the requirements at only the level of the microfinance,
but not
then
at the level of the commercial bank.
Commercial bank. Now that's the whole challenge, and I think it's going to involve a whole collective effort of trying to see that, because it's a voice for different microfinance MDs trying to to push for this. So it's gonna need a little bit of a collective effort to see how best they can actually achieve the requirements required for the banking standard, which I think it's not something you can do alone. It takes some bit of collective effort if they are to really succeed at this.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
And besides that same situation, it's the first week of the year.
Yeah.
Of course, you did mention about Kampala City Council Authority. They have a drive. Starting in February, working on the potholes within these Kampala suburbs and as well as within the CBD itself.
Yeah.
When you look at the fact that most of the roads in Kampala are already having issues to do with pothole, and it's a very huge concern for now. One may think was it the right call, because people were actually having issues back in 2022 and right now it has actually become worse.
I think it's very important, because here we are looking at transportation.
Okay, but I think it delayed for a moment if you're to look at
that. It has delayed, but it's like it's an urgent situation. Because we are talking, like I said, this is transportation. We know what it means for transport, what it means for transport being held. We've experienced it in COVID. You literally, transport being disrupted is literally a real lockdown. However much we can have, you can have the ability to move or go where. Now, I was interacting with some of the taxi drivers, and they are saying, man, because of these potholes, you find that the rate at which they're supposed to service, if they're supposed to service the cars after maybe 3 months, they can do the services twice or thrice, because it's getting too massive, and that expense is really huge. And now, if they run out of business, because if the roads are not in the proper condition, it's going to limit potential investments for investors who will come to because accidents come in there, and people are scared, people are skeptical. As some people are the way they hold their vehicles, they really mind. They really mind where they take like these vehicles. But anyway, all in all, this is the actual thing. Uganda has about roads which estimate to about 2,100 kilometers. Kampala. And we see that 600 are paved and 1,500 are not tarmacked. But now, that's quite a big number. So the money which KCCA received from the African Development Bank is to ensure at least 90 kilometers of roads actually, to at least 29 roads being renovated. Yeah, that's amounting to about 90 something kilometers. Well,
because actually the list with KCCA, 28 roads will be renovated, and the first phase will kick off in February 2023. But of course, one of the biggest concerns is also the construction of drainage systems, because this is where the other challenge comes in. The quality of the roads, but of course the drainage within the city also leads to some of these potholes. Very true. That because the poor drainage ends up digging deeper, you find potholes with water in it. So when you look at some of the roads here, Wamala Road, Luafu Road, Mutesa 1 Road, Old Mubende Road, Bulange Junction, amongst the others, Kayemba Road, Kasumi Northern Bypass Road, Sentema Road, Old Port Bell Road, and Spring Road, that is the ends of Nakawa, 5th Street, 6th Street, 7th Street, 8th Street, Namuongo, so the ends of Bugolobi, all those are going to be worked upon in February, that is next month. But of course, the other roads that will be worked upon in September include one which is the Queensway, including Chibuye Junction, the Chebando Ring Road, Kisasi 2 Road, and of course, these are some of the roads that will be worked on in September, inclusive of the Chitezi Road. So the people of Chitezi, you still have some other 6 months of still struggling with the same road as of now. But KCCA is working towards ensuring that these roads are maintained, and of course also making sure that they rehabilitate most of them.
Gerald, before actually we even go to another topic, you see, it's a good initiative, very interesting initiative. And by the way, there is also another on 16th October, KCCA signed an MOU with Colas UK to repair city roads. And this was funded by the United Kingdom Export Finance to run for 3 years, starting 2023. Well, very good initiatives. Funds are coming in, but there is a discipline which needs to be put in place. Jerome, in the United States or the United Kingdom, a road is constructed for a specific weight to go onto that road. You know, you cannot find a car or a vehicle like a sedan, let me say, a sedan, and you compare it to a truck
Moving or trekking through these particular roads.
and they're using the same roads. Definitely, potholes are unavoidable. If you look at that industrial area, you know, heavy trucks passing by. And what do you anticipate? You know, because those trucks need to be given specific routes where they should pass, and those routes also connect to the towns. You know, to avoid that, because in that regard, we shall know that the material I need to go, like if I'm constructing a road that is meant for a heavy truck, I'll know the material I need. If I'm constructing a road which is going to get up for, you know, the light vehicles, I know the material I'm going to need. In that way, that is going to lead to reduce on the costs, because we are looking at long term. Because what's the use of constructing a road and after 5 years, it's again, you know, that cost will be like autonomous.
Okay.
Regarding to
And of course, yesterday, you were someone who's doing the entertainment business. Yesterday, MultiChoice was launching the JDC series onto the screens.
Yeah.
And of course, when you look at this, it takes us back to local content creation. And of course, local content creation and promotion, local content creation and production in that way or the other. Because once the local content is produced, now it has someone who's going to publish it and on a bigger space, apparently. Because I did hear they would as well push it over to Showmax.
That's very interesting.
So you can imagine that huge space for Ugandan movies as well. So at the end of the day, you realize with some of the actors I go to interact with, most of them were saying, well, the movie industry in the country, because it was basically looking at the series, and series fall under the movies and all that.
Yeah.
So they were actually saying that the movie industry in the country is actually growing.
Very.
Way back it was worse, but now things are turning. The kind of technology, the cast is well experienced. There's a lot of talent to look out for. There's a lot of passionate actors, writers, people behind the production, and then most of them are actually saying it may not be too profitable for now when it comes to the payments and the money, but now actors are going in full swing to make some good money from acting. Well, others are now doing it as a part-time job. Back in the time, it was the acting that put them where they are. So someone just comes up, does the acting, goes back to their job. So you can see. And the acting can get you some good money.
Very. And by the way, I'm so happy about these initiatives because, of course, for now it's not going to be paying, because what we are interested in is trying to prove to the world that actually our identity in the filming has changed. Before we try to demand,
we now have
money.
Stories from Uganda.
We now have stories from Uganda. And the most important bit, I think, which was lacking for the past years, is having that strong hand, that invisible hand. Now, like you see these digital televisions. Now you're talking about GOTV. I mean, these are
the pay TV.
The pay TVs. You get to realize of the influence that they have towards promoting. If you talk about movie magic, we've been seeing this evolving from way back, and you know, everybody movie magic. Okay, now it changed names as time goes on, but you know, this thing, this aspect had a role on how it influenced us on how we viewed our Western movies, you know, Hollywood movies. You know, we get the DSTV thing. Oh, movie magic, is movie magic there? Yes, but now we have Power Magic. You know, the JDC series. I mean, being all over. And now this is just a new generation of movies which are onto these pay TVs, which are inter-regional and even inter-Africa. I mean, this is the great exposure we can ever have, other than trying, you know, to go for awards and you know, improving. But now our content, we have a space where we can actually thrive, you know. And I'm so grateful that people are really embracing this, and the script writing. You know, the only thing which probably we need to work on, because when you talk about the experienced actors, now we have them, people who know what they are doing, just to upgrade a little bit on our side of the, can I say, the technical aspect of it, you know, when it comes to visuals and stuff. So I'm really grateful for MultiChoice regarding this. And before this is something, we are heading international and people are watching this content. But what I'm going to urge the different players is to ensure that, like we said, it may not profit us as we expect.
Okay.
So, because even these industries we look up to and admire, there were people that laid the foundations. I believe ever since Uganda's movie industry has been like active, I think we've started the foundation in these years when we started to be on the paid TVs. Unlike before, it was hard to tell. We didn't know in which direction it was taking, but now we are directed. We know where we are heading. It's clear. You see that?
Yes.
So we are seeing the foundation over the last 30 years.
Okay. And of course, with the world kind of situation that we're living in, the migration and the growth of the digital world and content creators is the way to go. And of course, MultiChoice is in there ensuring that movie or content creators in the country do benefit from the same situation. And surely, as we are summing it up, Barija Andrew has Smart Tech tonight, and what should the viewers expect in tonight's Smart Tech?
Well, Smart Tech tonight is something, it's going to be a 2-in-1. We shall take a look at an amplifier built locally in Uganda by some technician right there. And then we shall also look at the mechanized irrigation system.
Okay.
And of course, this person still it's not a full system, but he drafted a prototype and we actually had a demonstration of how it works. So I believe it will be something which a farmer out there will be willing to actually watch and get to see that. And it's actually cheap and affordable.
Oh,
It's not very expensive as such, yet it's technology at the same time.
And of course, Barija Andrew with Smart Tech tonight at 8 p.m. The first that will be Farm Smart 7 p.m. All fresh new episodes here on Smart 24 TV. And in case you missed any of them, you can go onto YouTube and get yourselves more of those particular ones. They do stream live, but as well, you can revisit for more updates. We are Smart 24 TV, driving your business. It is Smart Names Business. Till next week, it's been a wonderful week with you people, wherever you are. And of course, it has been amazing to give you all these business updates as the new year kicks off. A happy new year from us to you. A wonderful weekend, I should say. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. Have a blessed day and a wonderful weekend. Good evening. Good morning.